We're in a pretty deep hole because of the decades of mistakes.
A massive regulatory failure. That's what a new UCalgary report is saying about Alberta's plan to clean up abandoned and orphaned wells. The report, published Wednesday, is calling for a public review of the Alberta energy regulator, saying the regulator is secretive and works too close with the industry, resulting in the province's 2020 liability management framework being, quote, consequentially unlikely to substantially reduce inventories of orphan and inactive assets. It is equally unlikely to uphold the polluter pays principle. It's an issue the report says the province has continually failed to address.
The system designed in the 80s would get an F. The system designed in the 90s would get an F. The system designed around 2000 would absolutely get an F. The system put in 2020, I would give it maybe a D.
He says information is sparse on exactly how big the issue is, and that the industry is continually failing to set aside money to clean up the upwards of 300,000 wells that are sitting abandoned or orphaned. In a statement to City News, the Alberta Energy Regulator says, in part, direct spending by industry in 2022 was $685 million, exceeding the spend requirement of $422 million by almost 40%. Additional funding was also made available from the Government of Alberta's Site Rehabilitation Program. Altogether, over $1 billion was spent on closure activities in 2022. Numbers from the Alberta Energy Regulator estimate it'll take $60 billion to clean them up, but the report calls that number unreliable, estimating the cost could reach up to $130 billion.
Some of the Freedom of Information requests show much more clearly than I expected how significantly industry was able to decide what kind of system got into place. We don't have really clear explanations in detail of how some of those numbers got worked out.
He says cost will continue to rise, and the only way a major cost decrease might happen is with improvements in technology for well sealing.
I think within industry, that is the fantasy of how this will be solved, that a technological fix will suddenly make this way, way cheaper. That is not realistic. That is a dream of a fantasy technology.
In Calgary, Jillian Code, City News.